Hey, we're back. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulty. Like I was saying to you before, Anthony, the reason why I like the Sable match so much is I feel like it was the first time they really treated the women seriously as characters and
Yeah,
as threats. And, Sable like actually got to kick some ass. And I think that this was kind of like the start of what led to Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch last year.
absolutely. I agree with that because women weren't. They were managers. They were valets. They kind of went away from women's wrestling for a while, and this was really brought it back into the forefront.
No, yeah, 110%. Okay, 15. What's your favorite?
Stone Cold and The Rock, and kicking off one of the greatest rivalries of all time. Say what you want to say about The Rock not being the best, technical wrestler, but as a performer in the ring, these two just had it together. Like anytime they were in the ring together, it was must watch, must see, and still all three of their matches I could watch and say that's my favorite one on the card.
Yeah, I love this match too. It's so funny. Like I watched this live, and this was the first Mania I saw since Seven Live, and the whole night I'm really going to my friends. Is this WrestleMania? It felt like an episode of Raw, and then when that match hit, it's like, okay, we're at fucking WrestleMania. Yeah,
Yeah, and this is like the first WrestleMania where it started to feel like that, where pay-per-views and especially WrestleManias started to feel like an extension of the TV show.
yeah.
Like it was like WrestleMania was always that event. And
Hmm.
here I think because people were getting into it, watching it every week, and you had pay-per-views every month. They didn't have that big match feel until this match.
Yeah,
That's what I agree with. That's why it sticks out to me so much because it's like, oh my god, this is a main event.
yeah. It was fucking phenomenal. Okay, 16.
The only match I liked of the night was the ladder match. Talk about ladder match. This was the greatest ladder match of all time. These teams, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, these three teams put it all on the line. I actually just watched this yesterday again because they showed a clip on Instagram of this match, and I'm like, I got to watch it now. And I watched
Yeah.
it again, and I was like, this match is phenomenal. I mean, from start to finish, told a great story. It was the only match really that was long besides the main event that night. And these three tag teams, I mean, in an era where the tag team with titles started meaning less,
Hmm.
this made the tag team titles mean even more. It was like, oh my god, these guys are killing themselves for that title. And favorite match of the night, hands down.
Yeah, I agree. This was my favorite match. Did you watch this event live?
I did. I watched this. This is before like it's weird. This is like one of the manias I watched without my friends for some reason
Me too.
because we would watch all the pay-per-views because my friend had an illegal cable box. Maybe that's when he didn't have any more or something. But
Mhm.
we would. I used to work at a supermarket deli, so I would always steal a hero. I'd make a hero during the day and go back and steal it, and bring it to the event. And for some reason, I was watching this alone in my living room,
Yeah.
and I remember watching this match because every match that night was like a tag team or a triple threat, or there was no singles matches.
No,
But
except for
but
the
this
Cat and
match,
Terry. The Cat and
yeah,
Terry.
I
That
don't
had
know
a
how to
single
count
match.
that as a
Yeah.
match. But this match had me on the edge of my seat from start to finish, and still one of my favorite matches. And I watched it the other day, and I still had the same feeling watching it.
Yeah. I love. I ordered. I don't know if you remember. They did a WrestleMania all day. I ordered that. It started at like noon, and it was just or like 10 a.m. and it was just all these highlights from Access and like I ordered it. So to invest my whole day and then get to fucking Triple H winning at the end and Vince turning heel, I'm like, really? You made me invest in all that, and Triple H just wins again. It was the first Mania where the bad guy won. Because you got a pre-show and it was like crazy. It was like an insane thing. And then
Yeah.
the other bullshit, you pay for this fucking WrestleMania all day, but then on Heat, they had angles that you didn't see because you were too busy fucking watching highlights of 15
Yeah.
like an asshole.
I
Like,
watched Heat. Yeah, I was.
yeah, so, but yeah, this match, I agree. The ladder match stands out. Fucking phenomenal match. Yeah, I can't get enough of it. Okay, 17.
Stone Cold and The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this with my nephew the other day, showing him some old matches, And again, I watched this match from start to finish. I was into it again. And the swerve at the end where Austin and Vince are shaking hands. To me, that was like another one of those big WrestleMania moments, and it had a big fight feel to it. I mean, you had some good matches on this card, but to me, that stands out as the match of the night.
Yeah, this had a lot of great matches. I think this match is fucking amazing, and I didn't mind the heel turn at the time. Didn't really lead to anything interesting. I think they never should have. I think he should have. As soon as Vince had him win, he should have just stunned Vince, and then
Yeah, they dropped the ball on. I was actually looking forward to a Stone Cold heel turn because he was a heel to begin with. We liked him
yeah,
because he was a heel, and I thought maybe they would just continue with that and have him be even more dominant. But it just led to stupid stuff, and
yeah.
they dropped the whole. I mean, really, the whole next year they dropped the ball. The
They
invasion and
should have.
everything. Yeah,
They never should have had him and Triple H team up the next night. It was just fucking atrocious. It should have
yeah,
been like, it should have been the same thing they did with Brett and Austin, but with Triple H and Austin, where they switch. Now Triple H is a good guy, Austin's a bad guy.
yes,
You
I
know.
agree with that too.
But this match was phenomenal. It was both guys at their prime. Fucking amazing match. 18.
Hogan and The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Hogan back at WrestleMania was like I was a kid again.
Yeah.
And I thought they had a great match. I watched this match the other day too. I mean, I thought they really had a great match,
Yeah, they
and
did.
they told a great story. And it was like really was like an icon versus icon match. I wanted Stone Cold versus Hogan at first,
Mm-hmm.
but looking back now, I don't think any other. I think that this match was the match to have in the match of the night.
Well, I don't think Austin would have made the Hulk up work because
No,
Rock made it work. Rock made it work without looking like a fucking idiot, whereas Austin would have had to turn into a complete moron.
yeah,
Because the Austin character would have just kicked him in the nuts or something, you know what I mean? Rather than do the 3 punches and then. But
yeah.
yeah,
This was kind of like each generation's like because they always said like Rock was kind of like Hogan in the sense he didn't have a big work set
mhm.
and again they told a great story and seeing Hogan back I mean he could have wrestled Spike Dudley that night and I would have been just as excited.
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing match. The crowd reaction to it was just phenomenal, and just
Yeah,
I kind of thought, am I the only person who like feels nostalgic for Hogan? And to hear that arena just be like, he's back and he's in the WWE and he's our guy again. It was just an amazing. I mean, I'll never forget that match. Phenomenal.
yeah.
Yeah. 19.
Again, Rock and Stone Cold, and knowing now that it was Stone Cold's last match,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't have I don't think it was the greatest match, but nostalgia wise for me, the last of these 3 matches, Rock finally gets a win over him. It's my sentimental wise is my favorite, but I did love the Brock and Angle match as a runner up.
Okay. I have 2 different matches. My favorite match of the night is HBK and Shawn Mike. I mean, I'm sorry, HBK and Jericho.
Jericho, it was a great match. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it proved that Shawn Michaels is back, and I think
Mhm.
it proved also that Jericho, I think, finally had a great WrestleMania match with this. My second favorite, because it's just so fucking gonzo and it was better than it had any right to be, Hogan Vince.
yeah. It was a bloodbath. It was great.
Yeah.
It was a fun match. This is a really underrated WrestleMania. I
Mm-hmm.
think no one really talks about this one when they talk about like the greatest WrestleManias of all time. And this is, I think, it was a more of an old school type of card where matches had big match feels to it. But I get because Stone Cold it's like Hogan Stone Cold is my 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
That's the only it's overshadowing. It still overshadows everything for me. But again, seeing Shawn Michaels back, and again versus Jericho, who my opinion now, as far as greatest wrestler of all time, is Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I could still go back and enjoy that match too.
Yeah. Very good WrestleMania actually, except for that Triple H
Mhm.
match. Fuck that match.
Yeah.
20.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. I mean,
Yeah,
allowed
you
to
can say
his
it.
name?
Fuck him. Yeah, say
Chris
it.
Benoit, triple threat, HBK, Triple H, and Chris Benoit, and Benoit winning the world championship in Madison Square Garden. Eddie Guerrero then coming out, the 2 of them. It
Oh,
was like almost like that moment where wasn't the same like with Brett and Shawn, but like it was kind of like these two guys are our guys now,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't guys that normally would be in the spotlight. But I mean, Benoit he was so good,
Yeah.
and you almost can't say it because of
What he did,
what
yeah.
happened to him. But I'm just taking it as a wrestling standpoint. I'm not saying as a person. I'm talking about Chris Benoit, the character, the professional wrestler, was so goddamn good. And this match to me was awesome. And you didn't think I didn't think he was going to win.
I
I honestly
thought
thought Triple H was going to win.
I thought Shawn Michaels was going to win because that's
Yeah, I don't know. I just for some reason I just figured Triple H because it was kind of that time where he was going to win everything. And
yeah, and the fact that he tapped Triple H tapped too was fucking yeah. I agree. This is
yeah,
my favorite match of the night. I kind of felt like the event's very lacking. Even Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle was good. The crowd wasn't into it.
mm-hmm.
When this match started going, the crowd, everything, it was again one of those magical WrestleMania moments. And Benoit getting Triple H to tap. It's just a shame that he murdered his whole family. And they cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, the celebration on the pay per view is really long, and both on the DVD and
Mm-hmm.
in on the network they cut off that celebration real fucking quick because Daniel
I
gets in
mean,
the ring.
oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah. So they
Oh my
edited
God.
out.
Yeah, because you know what? Because it's so long ago, and everything I watch now is just that, and it's gone.
Yeah.
But oh my God, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a shame because he so good. And did you watch the Dark Side of the Ring with him?
Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't watch the New Jack one yet, but I watched the
I
Benoit
didn't
one.
watch
Yeah.
New Jack, but I watched Benoit. I like Jericho's like, go fuck yourself. You're gonna give me shit for glorifying, Chris Benoit. But he's talking about the wrestler. He's talking about his
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't think
think
he should
that's
be in the
where
Hall of Fame, but I definitely think like he was one of the best. You have to admit that. He was a little piece of shit, but you have to admit he was one of the best.
yeah, I mean, he killed his family, but besides that, he was one of the best wrestlers of all time.
It's funny. People on Twitter still push he should be in the Hall of Fame, and I responded to one guy, if this was fucking Mabel who killed his family, you'd bury his matches yourself. Come on, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, I mean, would OJ be in the Hall of Fame if that happened before that? No.
No.
So you can't put Benoit in the Hall of Fame.
But
Can't
one of the best Mania matches of all time no one ever talks about. So I can still watch his matches and not feel guilty. I just couldn't go. I couldn't go in front of an arena full of people and be like, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I feel like a piece of shit. But I can watch his matches. Like that was a fucking great match. Still, can you still watch his matches?
I can still watch his matches. I can separate because when I'm watching the matches, I mean, it's in my head like, oh my God, this guy. They called him the Canadian Crippler and choked out his family. But just watching him wrestle I can still be like, oh my God, this guy's so fucking good.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me put my phone on mute. This guy just texted me. Sorry. But okay, so let's do this. 21. What's your favorite?
Angle and HBK match of the night. I mean, just thinking back how good Angle was, I think that kind of got overlooked a lot in this era because the whole ruthless aggression. This way, started going to two shows, SmackDown and Raw. Triple H, and it was with Evolution was his whole thing, but Kurt Angle to me is one of the greatest of all time, and watching him versus HBK, it was a clinic that night.
Yeah. My favorite match actually is Randy Orton versus Undertaker.
That was a good match. Yeah,
that was a good match. That was the first time I thought Undertaker was going to lose his streak. When Randy Orton hits the RKO out of nowhere, I had a party that night. We all were like, it's over. And then Undertaker kicked out. And I just thought that was the first time you really thought Undertaker was in jeopardy and like the younger guy was going to rise up and
the whole legend killer persona. Yeah, you thought it.
I thought that was good. All right, 22.
Rey Mysterio beating Randy Orton and Kurt Angle for the title.
Okay.
And because of the whole thing with Eddie passing away that year, I always like when the little guy also comes out on top. And I've always been a big fan of Rey Mysterio back to WCW. And I thought it was a great moment. And, a lot of the things with WrestleMania is WrestleMania moments. And when I think back to that WrestleMania, that just stands out to me as the match of the night.
My favorite match that night, and it's a weird one no one ever talks about, is the Money in the Bank match where that Rob Van Dam wins. It's Bobby Lashley, Fit Finlay, Ric Flair, Shelton Benjamin Rob Van Dam and Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy. No one
It was
talks
a
about
it was a
that
great
one.
match.
It was a great match, and I like the fact that I really thought they were going to go Rob Van Dam as the guy, and they didn't. But at least they gave him a little bit of a push. I liked that he had that big Mania win that night,
Yeah,
and the match is pretty good. Ric Flair does a sick bump off a ladder. Have you watched it recently?
I haven't watched it recently. I'm gonna go back now and watch it because I got to see it. Because to me,
Rick, I thought
Flair,
they killed Ric Flair. I'm like, why the fuck would he agree to that?
he's 50-something years old and dropping him off
Yeah.
ladder.
23.
Cena and Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
This is
really?
where I became like I'm a big Cena fan. He's up there
Hmm.
like on my Mount Rushmore. And to me, this was two of my favorite guys going at it for the title. I was kind of, even though I'm a big Cena fan, I was rooting for Shawn Michaels because I wanted him to have one more like moment in the sun, WrestleMania moment, winning the title in the main event. But I also liked Undertaker and Batista for some reason. I'm a big Undertaker fan as well. So that's to me
Yeah.
that's my two favorite matches of the night.
That's my favorite match, Undertaker Batista, of that night. I thought they did a phenomenal job. I thought Batista was amazing. Up until then, he never really had a match that was like, oh my God, holy shit.
No, but I was never a Batista fan.
Hmm.
So that plays a lot into it for me too. Like I was never a big Batista fan, so I I could never get like into his matches that much. But I was a big
Okay.
Undertaker fan. So
Yeah. I thought this match was pretty good. And again, this is another time where I really thought, okay, he's gonna lose to the young guy. And I don't know, I thought they had a really good match. So yeah, that's my favorite match of the night.
all right,
24.
CM Punk winning that ladder match
Really?
was my
Okay.
favorite. Yeah, because this became I see to me it's like Stone Cold, Hogan, uh, Shawn Michaels, Cena, and CM Punk are my all time favorite wrestlers. And this is when I really started getting into CM Punk and seeing him win that match. To me, that was my favorite moment of the night. I did like Undertaker and Edge because again, how could you not? But to me, that match stood out. I think Triple H, Cena, and Orton didn't really do it for me as much as it should have. I think those match was a little overrated in my mind and didn't deliver. But CM Punk holding that Money in the Bank briefcase, that set it off for me.
Okay, my favorite match, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. That's my favorite match.
Okay.
The match where Ric Flair retired, I thought it
I
was.
love you. I love you. I'm
I'm sorry, I
sorry.
love you. Well, here's
I was crying. I was crying during it.
but
I'll give you that. But
besides, and I'll explain. Besides the Savage arc, the Savage's arc, with Liz and everything in Mania, I feel like this kicks off. I think one of the best story arcs in WrestleMania. And I'll explain it as
yeah,
we go. But Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair was fun. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great way for Ric Flair to take off. It's just too bad he went to TNA and ruined it. But whatever.
see, I maybe because looking back, I mean, I love the match. Don't get me wrong. I rewatch it all the time. I still get choked up watching it. Um, but if I know sometimes the outcome of a match already,
Hmm.
it kind of plays into it a little bit for me. Like
Yeah.
I knew Shawn Michaels was going to win. It was a great match. Um, and sending Ric Flair off, and maybe like looking back, him going to TNA a little after that kind of throws it off for me. But I don't know, something about I'm a CM Punk mark, and
Okay. Yeah,
uh,
I get that. Yeah. Hmm. Although that ladder match is good. Don't get me wrong. It's a good ladder match.
yeah,
Yeah. 25.
CM Punk again winning the
Oh,
ladder match.
really? Holy
Yeah,
shit! You're a huge CM Punk mark.
I am. I didn't. I like Triple H and Orton,
Hmm.
but I was kind of done with it by then. I wasn't. I wasn't. I was going out of my Triple H phase a little bit. Like I was kind
Okay.
of done with Triple H. And
Okay.
Randy Orton, I have like a love-hate relationship with him as far as a wrestler. Like sometimes I'm really into him, and sometimes I'm not. Like right now, I'm all in. Like what he's doing right
Oh
now, I think
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
phenomenal. But that match, CM Punk, I was just like, I like seeing back-to-back wins. I was excited for him to get another shot at the title because that first run was just atrocious.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was for me. That was it.
Okay, mine is Undertaker Shawn Michaels. I think that's one of the top 5 WWE matches of all time.
Hmm.
Besides, Maybe I'd also put their Hell in a Cell match, but
Yeah.
it's definitely like if it's got to be 5. I love that match. Yeah, Shawn Michaels Undertaker.
Okay.
Um,
Again, awesome match. And if we're gonna go to the next one, that's my favorite match of that one.
okay, that's
So
my favorite match too in 26.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
not as good as 25. I don't think. I don't know how you
not as
feel.
good, no, but I like the whole. I like when something's on the line like that, like
Yeah,
his career was on the line. And again, like I knew, but I didn't know. Like with Flair, I knew he's done. Like that was
yeah,
it. He's 100 years old. With Taker, I'm like, how many more is he gonna win? Like it was like every year it was like, is this it? Is this gonna be it? And I felt like that match to me stuck out in that WrestleMania card more than the other one.
okay. So we're in agreement. 26. That's the best one. Yeah, 26 is
Yeah,
a weird card. I don't know. It's there's good matches, but it's not like nothing great. But that match was a great. That match was a really. It felt big. It was a big main event.
yeah.
All right, 27.
You know what? Triple H and the Undertaker,
Yeah, me too.
and CM Punk and Orton close second. I
Hmm.
thought it was a great match that no one really talked about, but uh, Triple H and Undertaker had the best match of the night, and I like what leading up to it. What happened? Um, Undertaker stole a lot. As he got older, we didn't see him as much, and he stole the show on a lot of WrestleManias.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my favorite match. I really like it. A lot of people have said it's not good, and I don't fucking get that at all. I think it's a really good match. And again, this is the same. I feel like it's this storyline that starts with Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels is carrying through all these matches. And now we'll get to 28. What's your favorite?
Punk and Jericho.
Punk and Jericho. Okay.
It's almost like a dream match for me in a way, because when Punk started saying the whole best in the world, the first time he said it, the first thing I thought about was Jericho,
Mm-hmm.
because that was Jericho's whole thing, the best in the world at what I do, and I was really excited to see these two finally have a match, and it stuck out to me as the match of that because I look forward to it so much, and it was like another one of those dream matches coming true for me.
Okay. My favorite is Triple H Undertaker Hell in a Cell. I feel like this is like again the story with Shawn Michaels that starts at 24 kind of concludes
Hmm.
here with him and Triple H and Undertaker all
Okay,
making peace, and then moving on supposedly until they fucked it up for the Saudi Arabia. But I really like that the Hell in a Cell match. That was a phenomenal match
great
and
ending, great moment
great
at the
ending.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's one of my favorites. Okay, 29.
Undertaker CM Punk.
Okay, there you go. CM Punk
I
again.
really thought this was the match of the night.
Hmm.
To me, it wasn't the best WrestleMania. It was in
No,
New York. This is the one that was in New York.
did you go to
Uh,
it?
no, I had
Okay.
chance. I left brokerage that night,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I
and
think you made the right choice.
I raced over from my friend's house. I left right after I asked if I could go up first, and right after my set, I raced over to my friend's house, and I watched it there. Um, and I was just not. I was not into it at all.
No.
Match after match. It had the big feels, New York,
Hmm.
WrestleMania. But I feel like Undertaker and CM Punk had the best match of the night, and to me that was my favorite, and everything else I could take a leave.
My favorite match that night was actually Rock and Cena. I thought they had a way better match this time than the last time. 28.
Hmm.
28's fine, but I thought this was way better. And I really like the way that they put the match together. I had a great time watching it. And yeah, I think this is basically this was the Rock's last match. I know he had like a 3-second one with Rowan a couple years later, but this is the way the Rock went out. I thought it was a good way to go out. So yeah, I like this match most.
Yeah,
Yeah. 30.
30. 30 started with me and my friends getting dressed up. This is a
Okay,
this is
this is
this
when
means a
this
lot to me.
began.
This is a big WrestleMania for me, and it started off very small.
Hmm.
Hogan was back for the first time in a while. He was
Yeah.
the host of WrestleMania, and we dressed up as Hogan a little bit. We kind of did that. So this is the first. This is the first thing that started this whole procession of us having these parties. And my favorite match of the night was Daniel Bryan uh, making Batista tap out. That triple threat match.
Yeah.
Um, it was a culmination of a long. You know what I like? This was kind of like that old school way they built this up for so long.
Hmm.
This kind of started at SummerSlam.
It did start SummerSlam when Randy Orton cashed in. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
cashed in on him, and they kind of, bless you, they kind of went
Sorry,
this
Corona.
whole way with him.
Hmm.
And they made you feel like they put him down like every chance they got, and everything that led up to him with the Wyatt family, and then WrestleMania. It was a culmination of a whole year, and to me, it gave me chills. I still get
Oh,
chills watching it
fucking.
that moment.
The one thing I think is bullshit with this whole storyline, I don't believe them. I believe at SummerSlam they knew Daniel Bryan was going to win. They've said before
Yes.
that they changed their mind because of the fans. I think that they're all lying to us because they have to make something real. The fact that we all know that like wrestling's fake, and we all like get the backstage news, but I
Yeah.
think they're all in on it. That no, you fans made us. We were gonna have just Batista, Randy Orton. That was the match until you fans. I don't buy that for a second. You know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the way CM Punk tells it, though, it wasn't the
Yeah,
plans.
he said that too, but I also think he wasn't in on. I think Daniel Bryan, Triple H, and Vince, and Randy Orton. I think
They knew the
they
whole
knew the
way.
plan.
Cause I can't believe as many shit shows as Vince has put on that Randy Orton and Batista would be the main event. I
Yeah,
can't believe that. I
uh,
can't. I just can't believe that.
no, me neither. And this is a really great WrestleMania because Triple H, Daniel Bryan, any other Mania steals the show. And
That was my second favorite match of the night.
yeah,
It
Daniel
was a good
Bryan has.
mania. It was a good overall mania. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like it was like another Bret Hart performance. You know, except actually he does better than Bret Hart because Bret Hart's match Yokozuna, but this
Yeah.
was two fucking classics in a row. So the Undertaker match,
Absolutely.
I think that match, I think that was the wrong match for him to lose his streak. It was a bad match. Have you ever gone back and rewatched that match?
Yeah. I didn't like it. Um, I think I honestly think that maybe he wasn't going to come back. Like
I
maybe
think in
that
his
was the
head he thought he
plan.
wasn't coming back. I think in his head,
Yeah.
but it was so
So and
abrupt the way he lost it. It wasn't like
well,
it wasn't a
I
good
think they
match.
no, I think they knew he had a concussion, and I don't think
Yeah.
it happened on that move. I think it happened
Mhm.
sometime during the match. Something happened to him, and they're like, "Go home." And
Maybe yeah, because he has like 7 bangers in a row, and then he has this
yeah,
fucking dud and he loses, and it's like really, you know. So I don't know. Okay, 31.
31, the cash in was my favorite of the match. It
That
was a great
match, yes.
to me. It was a great night. It was a really good WrestleMania, and I wasn't expecting it to be a good WrestleMania.
Hmm.
Going into it, I like that Daniel Bryan won the Intercontinental title. I like where they were going with it. I like that Cena won the United States title. I like a lot of things that happened in this WrestleMania. But to see a cash in for the world title at WrestleMania, screwing over his old Shield buddy Roman Reigns and beating Brock Lesnar, because we were all like, I think going into it, I was like, Roman versus Brock. I'm like,
Who
all
cares?
right.
Yeah.
But this was like one of those WrestleMania moments, and so it really, I don't get surprised too often anymore in wrestling. There's not a lot of things that surprise me with this, but that match definitely did it for me.
Yeah. I first of all, I hate that Sting Triple H match. I feel like the fact they didn't have Sting go over, like, what the fuck was the point? But that's besides the point.
Yeah,
But my favorite match is this match too, and I gotta say, I thought it was actually a pretty good match between Roman and Brock, even before Seth Rollins shows up. I thought
yeah.
it was a pretty solid match. So yeah, that's my match of the night as well. So I'm glad we agree on that. All right, then we got 32.
With Charlotte in the triple threat match,
Yes, I agree. Hmm.
and I think this is like we talked about with Sable kind of
Hmm.
setting and this was the culmination of that.
Yeah.
Where like women now, because after I actually said to my friend, we were watching this WrestleMania. I said to him, women are going to headline a WrestleMania one day. I have no doubt about it after watching that match because they stole the show to me.
They did. They still.
They
That
put
was not that was not that great of a WrestleMania, and it could have. It
and
should
I
have been.
should have been, and I didn't expect it with that match.
Yeah.
But you know what it is, and that's the thing too. I guess and they've worked together so long in NXT, and they came up together and stole the show.
Yeah. They had a great fucking match. 33.
33. I was looking at that card. I, I didn't really like this WrestleMania that much. If I had to pick one, Seth Rollins beating Triple H, But
Okay.
otherwise, there was nothing really that stuck out to me. Even Roman Reigns beating The Undertaker.
Oh, that
Didn't.
was a horrible match. It
It
was
was
a
a horrible
hard.
match.
Every match Undertaker
Um,
decides is his last is fucking garbage.
Kevin Owens and Jericho was good, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be. This
Mhm.
match this WrestleMania had a lot of matches where I was like, I think that's going to be great.
Mhm.
And it just didn't do anything for me. I mean, so if I had to pick one, I'll pick Seth Rollins beating Triple H because I like the storyline going into it.
Okay, my favorite match again, a lot of very subpar Mania, but my favorite match of the night was the Hardy Boys Fatal 4-Way Ladder match with Enzo and
Okay.
Big Cass, the Bar, and the OC. Well, they weren't called that there, but we're fucking call them there. The Pop when they came out, and again, like I like long-term storyline in wrestling, and it felt like Matt and Jeff were redeemed. You know what I mean? Like they both
Yeah.
left kind of like drug addicts and losers and mental cases, and now they're back at Mania, and Jeff Hardy is no longer broken. He's no longer like Brother Nero. He's back in and Matt Hardy's still doing the delete and the way the New Day brought him out, and just like I really really love that match, and I thought it was that to me was the high. That to me is so much higher than the rest of that card. The rest of the card puts you to sleep, and that
Yeah.
match was like
I think I actually fell asleep during Roman Reigns and Undertaker for a little bit.
I think I fell asleep during Seth Rollins. Or no, I'm sorry. You know, I fell asleep during Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
Now that match I thought was going to be the match of the night, and I was very excited about it going into
It
it.
was, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it was not. It was not good at all.
Not good. 34.
34 is I liked Seth Rollins defeating The Miz and Finn Balor. That
Okay.
was to me. That was I'm a big IC guy. I like the Intercontinental title. A lot of matches I thought were going to be amazing on this card. I thought AJ and Shinsuke were going to tear the house down. Just didn't do it for
Mhm.
me. Lesnar beating Reigns. I mean, as much as I like Roman Reigns and I like when he wins, you know, I can get into the whole good guy bag, I think, but I did not like that ending at all.
Oh, it was atrocious. It was that was.
Yeah, sure.
I was excited for that match because I like their 31 match, and then I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this? You know?
I like Charlotte and Asuka too. I thought that was a good match, but I think everything. That's the thing. I think leading up to it, so many had like the potential to be like barn burners, and they weren't.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I like the Miz, and I like what he did for the Intercontinental title. And I enjoyed watching these three guys because it was almost like the workers' title again. Like these, all three guys can wrestle, all three guys can go, and that really did it for me. That match.
My favorite match that night, and you're gonna be like, really? But was John Cena Undertaker. I really like that
Really?
match. Yeah, I know it's short. I just feel like all the other matches didn't deliver what I thought they could.
But see, that's
And
what I was mad about that match because like we could have had the John Cena versus this build it from day one.
yeah, yeah, it was really short. Well, I have a friend and my friend. Oh, he's also called Anthony. Massive Undertaker mark, like to the point where he hosted WrestleMania in his house for 30, and
Yeah,
when Undertaker lost, he stopped speaking. He just wouldn't talk. Like he was just like he couldn't even give a shit to Daniel Bryan. It was like a family member died when Undertaker streak lost. He goes, "Why would you waste on Brock Lesnar? He left the company for 10 years. I don't understand." But every time Undertaker like left, he would get kind of depressed. And when Undertaker basically like came back, because I think they had his coat and his hat in the ring, and then all of a sudden he shows up.
yeah.
He was so happy and he was like laughing his ass off with the match. And so I got to give it credit. Everything else of that Mania was like, I thought it was supposed to be better, and it wasn't. And it was like a very long. I did like the O'Brien match, but even that could have been Shane McMahon. I'm like, give me a fucking break. I'm just so sick of
Yeah.
Shane McMahon. But yeah, my favorite match on that show is Undertaker John Cena. Okay, now we get to the last one because there'll be no more WrestleManias because of Corona. 35. What was your favorite
Kofi
match?
Kingston. Kofi
Yes.
Kingston.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, how could you not be a fan of Kofi Kingston finally getting the title? Um, if there was ever a phrase for "you deserve it," it's a guy who's done everything for this company and had, you know, you go back years ago, had his big push taken away
Yeah, because of Randy
with
Orton.
Randy Orton, and him versus Daniel Bryan was a great match. It was like that old. I like it that it wasn't two like behemoths. It's two guys who can actually wrestle, and they put on a great show. And Daniel Bryan's heel turn was great.
Mhm.
The world's champion, the planet's champion, and it was good to see Kofi have that big WrestleMania moment. And I was really excited for it. The match I thought was going to be the best was the triple threat match with the women, but it was good, but not like this match.
Well, I'll tell you why it wasn't good because I was there live. It was way too fucking late. Um,
Yeah.
we were exhausted. That Triple H match should not have gone on that long. Did you go to this Mania?
No, we were gonna go when
Hmm.
they announced that it was gonna be in New York. We were like, okay, we're gonna do it. But we have that WrestleMania party every year,
Okay.
and my friend was like, I take off from work the next day. He didn't, and he was like, you know what? He goes, I really don't want to at 1 o'clock in the morning be in the Meadowlands parking lot waiting to get out of there.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was really
actually,
the factor for it.
well, I'll tell you what, because me and my friend did drive there. Hardly anyone drove to this Mania. They all took the PATH train,
Oh, okay.
and and they got fucked because WWE did not inform New Jersey Transit that the
That's
event,
right.
and everyone was trapped. There were no Ubers. There were no anything. There were enough Ubers. So we got right. I was already home, and people were like camping in front of Giant Stadium trying to get home. So you would have got home right away if you went to the
Oh,
Mania.
okay. But we were just like the whole day, like we like our ritual. Like we,
Yeah,
of course, I would love to go to a mania. It's like a bucket list thing. But we really like our ritual every year of like dressing up like idiots and hanging out at his house. And his wife he reposted one of the videos because actually it's 3 years ago was WrestleMania 33 on April 2nd, and he reposted that video. And his wife actually said, like, I'm sad this year. She doesn't like wrestling at all, but she's like, I'm sad this year that, we're not doing the party at the house. Like, and I'm bummed about that. But I guess one day I'd want to go, but I really do enjoy the tradition that we have, me and my friends.
well, I'll tell you my story. I went last year. I went to shows. I went to go see Dan Barry, our good friend Dan Barry at
Mm-hmm.
WrestlePro on Wednesday in New Jersey. On Thursday, I went to an Evolve show by my house in Astoria. And then that night, I went to go see TNA in Rahway, New Jersey. TNA had a Impact, whatever the fuck they call it now.
Yeah.
Thursday, that was Thursday. Friday, I did NXT. Saturday, the Hall of Fame. Sunday, Mania. Monday, Raw. Tuesday, SmackDown. It
Yeah.
was one of the best weeks of my life in terms of being a wrestling fan. I sat third row at Mania. We did it up. We spent all the money we could. Me, my friend, and his son. We went. But let me tell you something. After that week, I didn't watch wrestling until SummerSlam. I would just read the updates and like if I got home one
Yeah.
night from a spot and I watched the main event like Extreme Rules, but I was so wrestling out by the end of it. But it was still fun. I wish I could be doing it again instead of being trapped in the house like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the Hall of Fame last year.
Oh, you
I
did go to
went to
that?
that.
Okay. Oh, I think I remember
Yeah.
on your Facebook. Yeah.
My friend had won ticket. The guy I do the wrestling the party with, he had won tickets on the radio,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't go. He had a gig that night. He's a musician, and I took my buddy Ryan Mars, also a comic. We went there, and it was fun. I mean, the best part of that night was the guy jumping in the ring and tackling
Oh,
Bret Hart and then beating the
that
shit out
was
of him.
insane. I was like, are they debuting a new wrestler? I thought it was a new wrestler at first. And I'm like, okay, I
That's what
guess
we
they're doing
thought.
yeah, and then and then Bret Hart fell so hard. I'm like, why are they throwing Bret Hart so hard? Then Aaron came, I'm
Yeah,
like, oh shit, this is not an angle. This is a
my
fucking
buddy Ryan was like, "Man, they're doing an angle right now." I'm like,
yeah.
"This is ridiculous." He's
Why
on
are
his
they
own because he's like very judgmental about wrestling. He's like, "Man, they're doing an angle. This is ridiculous. This is the
yeah,
Hall of Fame. That's Bret Hart." He's
yeah.
going on about it. I'm like, "No, they're beating the shit out of him."
Some guy really beat the shit out of Bret Hart. It was fucking insane.
Yeah,
Oh man. But
it was
yeah,
fun though. The Hall of Fame was fun.
yeah, no, it was a good time. So yeah, we went through all the manias. What are you doing? What's your ritual? Are you gonna do anything remote? Are you gonna watch it, or are you gonna do anything remotely
I'm gonna
fun?
watch it because
Hmm. What else are we gonna do?
what else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I can't go out and enjoy myself. I'm gonna watch it because it's WrestleMania. I'm gonna try to get into the spirit of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's 2 nights. Uh, I don't get the 2 nights thing. I'm hoping that because I'm so disappointed and so upset about it this year, that it's going to be one of those pleasant surprises.
Yeah.
That's my best hope for it.
I'm gonna order Domino's the first night and pig out. Back in the early 2000s, me and my friends would get Domino's for the Mania. I haven't
Hmm.
got Domino's in years, but I'm gonna order it on a Saturday and have it by myself. And then Sunday, I might try to get something a little bit better. But yeah, that's my big thing. I'm gonna get Domino's and sit and watch. And I said to my one friend who was like wrestling, "Well, you want to? He lives across the street. If you want to come, come." And he might, but yeah, it doesn't feel like Mania, man. Doesn't.
No, like usually what we do is my brother owns a deli here on Long Island, so we
Hmm.
always order like the heroes and wings and all these different salads,
Oh,
and it's just an all night thing. And we order enough food. Can we eat like it's for 7 hours, so like we're eating like all day, and it's a big thing. And I've been doing Weight Watchers, so I would weigh in on Sunday morning, so I weigh in on
hmm.
Mondays. So that would be my cheat meal for the week, and uh, it's not the same this week. I'm not I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be excited because it is WrestleMania. And you know what it is? I'm also pissed off because I was really looking forward to this card.
Yeah. Hmm.
Not all the matches, but like the big matches, like Cena and Bray Wyatt. I was really looking forward to that, especially now with the Fiend character.
Yeah.
And I was excited for Drew McIntyre. It's his first world title. Would have been the crowd would have been insane for him. And Daniel Bryan going for the IC title. This matches I was really looking forward to. AJ Styles versus The Undertaker, I think is going to be an amazing match, and I'm hoping he's doing the American Badass. It looks like he's going to be doing
Yeah. I think it's
it.
gonna be. I think it's gonna be very similar to the Boiler Room Brawl, but I think it's gonna be
Yeah,
fun. It's not gonna be a 5-star classic, but it's gonna be fun. It might wind up stealing the whole both nights, but we'll
it might,
see.
but I think that if it was a regular WrestleMania, it could have been an amazing match, and it could have been
Yes.
a really fun thing. So I mean, whatever happens, happens. But
Hmm.
it, I feel I just feel deep down they should have just pushed it off to whenever this happens again.
Yeah. I feel really bad for Edge because this guy,
That's
trained to come
yeah,
back
that
for a
Edge
match.
and
nine
Randy Orton.
years. 9 years he's been waiting to have another match, and it was in a warehouse,
Yeah,
you know. But it's just I felt like he probably would have been very emotional and great for him to be in this, with everyone cheering for him at Mania, and he's with Randy Orton, and now it's gonna be. I hope they do a WWE 24 on this one, like they do every year.
yeah.
I hope they do one on this one. I hope they let the wrestlers be honest, because I think we're
Well,
gonna
that's
have
not gonna
some.
happen.
I know. Well, I'll tell you this: when Roman Reigns quits, we're gonna have a hell of a fucking podcast. I'll tell you that, because now I do think he might quit. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know why. I don't know. When his contract's up.
I would hope.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hell of a podcast from
Well,
somebody, some top guy's gonna leave because of what happened last week. I
he
almost
had
guarantee.
said like a year or so ago that he wasn't going to wrestle past a certain age.
Roman.
Yeah, like he had said because of his health and like when it got to a certain point he was going to be done because he wanted to live his life and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and he doesn't want to get he doesn't want to wrestle I think past like a certain age, and he's in his mid-30s now. So I mean, imagine that shoot interview. Roman leaves and starts telling all the dirt.
Oh God. Yeah. He'll probably have more to say than Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, Anthony. Where can people find you on social media? Do you still have your wrestling podcast going, or what's up?
No, I haven't done the wrestling podcast in a little while, but you can
Hmm.
find me on Instagram at Comic Anthony D. And I do a podcast called WW Bro Podcast. It's about my weight loss journey that people actually do think is a wrestling podcast because of the WW part.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Um, but you can find that at www.bropodcast.podbean.com, and it's available on iTunes and all the podcast listening stations and venues.
Okay, dope. And as for me, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Ray Gootz. I have another podcast today. I don't know. I don't know if you ever met him, but Randy Orton's brother does stand up, Nathan.
Does he really?
Yeah, he lives here in New York City. Yeah, I've done some road
Oh, I
gigs
didn't
with
know
him.
that. No.
I told Keegan to put him on a show out there in Long Island. I don't know if, well, obviously didn't happen because of Corona.
Rona.
But I said, hey, get this guy in to Long Island. He's Randy Orton's brother. He looks just like him. It's really funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
He looks just like, but he doesn't know anything about wrestling. Like I said to him, hey, you ever heard of DDP yoga? What's that? And I'm like, wow, you really don't know shit about what your brother does. Okay. But I did an earlier podcast with him about what's going on in New York City. But yeah, so listen to that. So I'm gonna have 2 podcasts out today. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, Anthony.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
No problem. Good time.